We welcome you to Phillies Postgame Live, presented by our friends at Cure Auto Insurance. Along with Ruben Amaro Jr., I'm Michael Barkan, John Kruk in a moment. 4-3 Phillies. They're 75-61 on pace for 89 wins. Magic number is 22, and they are now 4 games up on Milwaukee, plus the tiebreak. Really 5 games. They got the tiebreaker.
That's right.
Ruben, let's take them one at a time. The first one's got to be Edmundo Sosa, and I guess parenthetically, Rob Thomson, who put him in for a second consecutive game. This guy, last 10 plate appearances, 8 for 9, 2 home runs, 4 doubles, 2 singles, a walk, 5 runs batted in, and 5 runs scored.
I mean, absolute brilliance. So Dave Dombrowski and Rob Thomson. I mean, Dave Dombrowski for getting this type of player, because he's pretty important as far as his defense is concerned. This was a team that struggled defensively, and Dave Dombrowski knew it. Brought a guy who can play some defense, but he's come through, in spades as far as being able to contribute in offensively. I mean, this guy, he knows exactly what this is about. He's played in the St. Louis organization. They're a winning type of an organization, and he's pretty prepared to help this team win, and that's all he's about right now, and he's doing a great job.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Citizens Bank Park, former Phillies extraordinaire, let's check in with John Kruk, called tonight's game with Tom McCarthy. John, you know the statistics on Edmundo Sosa last 2 nights. You know the statistics from him last year at St. Louis. He was a .271 hitter. What do you do with this guy now? I mean, he was a utility guy, coming at spell at shortstop, but he's really contributing.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens tomorrow with the lineup. Tough to take a guy out who's swinging the bat that well, but
is there a different feel in the clubhouse? Is there a different feel as you watch these guys on the field?
Yeah, it seems like they're playing with more sense of urgency. I think, the last few years, not just last year, but the last few years, it seemed like it was, and again, we hear it too this year, but it's like, we'll get them tomorrow. We'll get them tomorrow. These guys want to get you tonight. And I know the West Coast trip was awful. Everyone knows that. But, they've come back and bounced back at home. And I know, people can say, well, it's against the Marlins, whatever. But, you still got to beat who's on your schedule. And you got to beat them enough that you, at the end of the season, when the last game's played in Houston, you're going home to get ready, prepared to play in a postseason game. That's all that can matter with this team right now. They don't, you can't worry about all the other extraneous stuff that goes on. All you can worry about is today. And today they won. Now that day's over. Now, enjoy it for another couple hours, and then what can we do tomorrow to help this team win?
Yeah, what I've found really impressive this year is that they're getting contributions literally from everybody. Today it was the bottom of the lineup, and it was the bullpen. Falter doing a pretty good job. Talk about how important that is as you go through a 162-game season to get to the playoffs and have everybody contribute.
Well, Ruben, when you get a guy who's supposed to be a spot starter, like Bailey Falter was. I mean, you remember during the year he was coming in for a start, those opener games or bullpen games, whatever you want to call them. And he was pitching a couple innings, and then they'd send him back to minor leagues, try to stretch him out, and then he's coming back up and pitching another couple innings. And that's no way to pitch.
Finally get another series win. When you look at this season, and it's been up and down, they're on pace for 89 wins. I think that's probably a little bit above what most expected them to get, and who knows, they could go for 90-91. They still have the Braves to play for 7 games, so we shall see. But where is their place in the mix, do you think, right now?
As far as wild card spot,
yeah,
are they going to
and
be
how
the
strong
second
you
wild
think
card
they
or
can,
third?
yeah, and also how strong you think they can finish.
Well, they've had success against the Braves this year. Mets, not so much. They won the season series against the Cardinals. So, if they get in, there's always a chance. Look, if the Mets can set up, Scherzer, if he comes back healthy, and DeGrom, that's going to be tough to beat in a 3-game series. And the Braves, same way. If you get, their 2 top starters, they're going to be tough to beat. But, we always look at the other team and what they have. How about if we send Zach Wheeler out? You think the other teams are saying, we got Zach Wheeler and Aaron Nola. Who cares? We got this guy. We got 2 guys who can pitch. We got 2 guys who can dominate and have dominated at points in this season. They have to be right, though, in September. And then going into October, they have to be dialed in and locked in, ready to go, because they can beat anyone. The thing is, though, the only way you beat Scherzer, DeGrom, Max Fried, and those guys is your starting pitcher has to pitch with them. And if they do, you got a shot. I mean, how do you think we beat Sandy Alcantara? Our starting pitchers pitched with him until late in the games, and we figured out a way to score a run and win. That's the only way you can beat top-line pitchers. Your starting pitcher has to match him.
Bottom line. All right, John, thank you.
Thanks
As
a lot,
always,
John.
We'll talk to you tomorrow. John Kruk
I'll
joining
be
us from the I know you will, with bells on. John Kruk joining us from the booth. Take a look at chasing October, and the Philadelphia Phillies are a half game up now at the San Diego Padres for the second spot. Ruben, I know this won't be the last time I say this, but it would be, and you can't be choosy, I get it, but it would be better if they were to flip-flop with the Padres and take on the Cardinals in that first playoff round rather than having to take on the Braves, even though they have played the Braves very well this season.
Well, I'll tell you, for me, you just have to win as many games you possibly can win. I mean, you're not going to be able to plan this thing out. It just doesn't work out that way in baseball. It may in other sports, but certainly not in baseball. You got to try to win as many games as you possibly can. You're going to have to beat the best teams anyway. I know in 2011 when we got beat against St. Louis, people couldn't understand why we would win that game against Atlanta. Listen, we would have to beat the best teams anyway, and unfortunately it didn't work out that way. You don't want to try to actively lose baseball games. So I don't think that's a plan. I think what you have to do, the plan is to try to play as good a brand of baseball as you possibly can, and if you do that, hopefully you're playing great baseball as you get into the playoffs.
Great points. Let's check in with Rob Thomson on tonight's win. Here he is in the clubhouse.
So you said you couldn't sit Sosa after what he did last night. What do you think about what he did tonight?
Yeah, it was a pretty outstanding game again. So I got to go back to the lab afterwards and figure out what we're going to do tomorrow. But, yeah, it's nice to see him playing well. And he's showing some power the last couple of nights, too. So it was good.
Did you just want to start him because of what he did last night, or did you have maybe a hunch that he might do something against Rogers?
Well, it's, going into the series, I was thinking we'd play the first night and then, probably start the second night. Stott's has seen Rogers before, and Stott has good at-bats against everybody, so I didn't want to have him sit too long, especially with the off day on Monday, but Sosa's night last night was so good that I just couldn't keep him out. He just got a zinger on, he hit the ball off the end of the bat and just kind of vibrated his thumb.
The top hand?
Yeah. Yeah. And we'll check him and make sure he's okay for tomorrow. Yeah.
Do you feel like your defense was a big part of this game? Reese, man, I was playing
Huge.
Veerling catch.
Veerling catch, yeah. JT throw and tag by Sosa. JT foul pop up. Schwarber dive and play. Yeah, we really played well defensively tonight.
Have you seen any shift in Sosa's approach at the plate or his at-bats or anything since he...
Not really. I'm not really sure what K. Long's doing with him, to tell you the truth, but he certainly had good at-bats, and he's had good at-bats, in other games too. Maybe didn't have the home runs and the doubles and things like that, but he certainly had good at-bats. So.
Alvarado threw yesterday, and he only had 9 pitches in inning. Was he at all consideration to go back out there? Or?
No, not second day, no.
What made you go with Brogdon?
Just because D-Rob wasn't available. And we kind of like the matchup, so. And Alvarado in the 8th, it's top of the lineup. Put him on those guys, and then Broggy towards the back end.
For a guy who's been bouncing up and down, can you talk about what Fuller's given you the last 4 starts?
Tremendous, and he started off the game, and he was behind the count a little bit. First inning and start of the second inning, and then he really settled in. He started throwing strikes, started using his breaking ball, started landing his breaking ball, and then put away breaking ball. Yeah, he's been a godsend for us. He really has. He's pitched great. I'm really proud of him.
He's here to fill Wheeler's spot, but can he earn a rotation spot after Wheeler comes back?
Possibly. We'll see where we're at, But he's He's pitched extremely well. He's pitched as well as almost anybody.
Do you have anything on Dominguez and Eflin?
Yes, I do. So Sir Anthony's going to pitch tomorrow in Lehigh, 1 inning. He'll be the first reliever in the game in a clean inning. And then Eflin will go on Friday at Lehigh. He'll start the game, but we're going to sort of make it like a bullpen game. So he'll warm up in the bullpen. Anthem's over. He'll go from the bullpen to the mound instead of going into the dugout. And then we'll just reassess after those games. Thank you.